Today, we're going to be naming the ionic compound of CoTe. Okay? So in this case, let's just find where these elements are on the periodic table. Now, CO, which is cobalt, is somewhere over here, right? And this whole box are transition metals. So I know that CO, cobalt, is a metal. And then Te, which is tellurium, Te is over here, I believe. It's somewhere down here, right? It's in the -2 category where oxygen and sulfur is. So that's a nonmetal. Technically, I believe tellurium is a metalloid, but in this case, we're going to treat it as a nonmetal because with ionic compounds, you can never have two metals. You always have to have a metal or a nonmetal or a metal and a polyatomic, or two polyatomics, but we don't have that here. Okay, now we're just going to start naming, right? So the metal name always comes first because the metal name is literally the one that's, in the beginning, right? So the metal name always stays exactly the same. So CO is cobalt. So I have that down. Now let's do the nonmetal. Now the nonmetal doesn't stay the same. It gets the IDE ending. So Te on the periodic table is called tellurium, but when we change it to the IDE ending, it becomes telluride. Now, whether the Kia Telluride is named after this element, or is it named after the town in Colorado? Probably the town in Colorado. But it's the same wording here. By the way, if you guys haven't been to Colorado, you definitely should go once. It's so beautiful. And for everybody who lives in Colorado, I'm jealous. But anyway, I digress. So, now we have cobalt telluride. Now we just have to check to see if we need to add a Roman numeral. And that comes from the metal, which is cobalt. Since cobalt is in my transition metal box, I do need to add a Roman numeral. And the Roman numeral is always going to be the charge of the metal. So I need the charge of cobalt. So how do we find that out? It's pretty easy. All we're going to do is we're going to take the subscripts and crisscross them up to see the charges. In this case, we had one cobalt and one tellurium, right? Because there was no numbers. So this one crisscrosses up, telling me that tellurium was a -1. And then this one crisscrosses up, telling me that the cobalt was a +1. So I have this. But now, always check the nonmetal on the periodic table. Tellurium wants to be a -2, right? It's in the -2 trend of the periodic table. It doesn't want to be a -1, so I have to change that. Well, I can multiply that by 2 to get a -2. But whatever you do, you gotta play fair. So you gotta multiply this one by 2. And now cobalt's charge is a +2. And that is the charge of cobalt. So the Roman numeral you're gonna put is 2. And finally, you are done. So CoTe is cobalt 2 telluride. All right? That's it, guys. Hopefully this helped. Let me know in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'm losing my voice, so I'll just say thank you so much. And I will see you guys all in the next lesson. Bye-bye.